in focus. I'm in focus.
Is my mic working? Wow, what a week it's been. I'm finally back. I was in New York City.
Since Wednesday to Sunday. It's Sunday right now.
I'm back. Super behind on videos. My camera's crooked. But what I really want to talk about is I'm about to do levels in this video. Switch up the scenery a little bit. I'm actually moving, guys. Look at this. So I'm moving. There's boxes everywhere in the house. I was out of town, gotta finish packing and moving the rest of this week. My cat is in the way, like usual. But we're gonna do my levels, and what I'm gonna talk about in this video is trading level to level, right? So I'm gonna break down exactly how I would set up a trade. I noticed a lot of people, there's a lot of confusion around entries and exactly how I trade. So in addition to reviewing the levels for last week, I'm also gonna use that as an example for where I would have entered and exited trades. Simple agenda. We're gonna do a review and talk about how I trade. So if you wanna trade how I trade, right? And not just do a bunch of different stuff, whether I'm dropping a trade in the Discord or not, you can trade how I trade. What's up, buddy? I know you want food. Look at my cat. He just wants food. You're a good boy. I'm gone for 4 days and all he wants is food from me. He doesn't want any love, doesn't want anything. Just food, 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 food. I don't even know what this food is. All right, so let's bust out the laptop. Here we go. Like how the lighting just progressively gets better as I move. This is pretty good. Normally I would clean my space up more, but we're vlogging, guys. And that's my excuse to let it be a mess. What do we got over here? Bust this mamma jamma open. Put this, and go over here. Oh, this is a better angle. Yeah. I look terrible. I'm all greasy. I just got off a plane, so I'm all greasy. You know, I usually have like a button up on, so I look better. But, you know, it's okay. It's all right. While I load this up, let's just talk about, you know, life, trading in general. You know, my goal is still to go full time this year. W2 is kicking my ass in terms of time commitment. Hold up, someone's knocking on my door. All right, I was a delivery guy, but what was I talking about? Work. So the W2, super busy. If you're trading and working like I am, trying to learn to trade regardless of where you are, there's gonna be some weeks where you're just straight up tired. It takes a lot of time. I even thought about like, man, I could just not do all this stuff, but if I don't do my charting and stuff today, it'll never get done. I'm also working on a little Discord bot, which I will show you guys actually. Let me close this. Record. All right, we're recording our screen. So let's take a look at this Discord bot really quick. I'll kind of just show you the results of running it. So my screen is recording. I am a software engineer, by the way, for those of you guys, or by trade, I'm not a software engineer anymore. But we want to do this. We want to start this thing first, and then we also want to do node app.js. So what I'm working on is I want to be able to, in my Discord, and it's something you'll be able to do if you join the Discord, basically be able to just quickly pull up a chart for anything, right? Mostly option data, right? So if I go to here and do /options, I'll have this command. It's gonna fail because I don't know what I'm doing with the response just yet. But what should happen is we should get a bunch of output here actually, and it's just not being hit. So let's do test. That's also failing. Well, that's not what I want. That is straight up not working, which is the opposite of what I expected. I wonder if the URL changed. Hold on, guys. Hold the phone. We'll go to Discord developers and my app. I don't know if this URL is the same. It's not the same. So that's what happens when you don't pay attention to details. All right, so if we go back to Discord and if we run this again, it should work. And if we do this, it's gonna fail. Oh, it didn't fail. Print out a chart, nice. So this is a chart. It's hard coded, the data is hard coded right now, but this is SPX options chart data from a few months ago. So you'll be able to type in basically like /options, you know, SPX, February 4th, 4100 call, right? And it's gonna spit out that chart. So that's what I'm working on. If you wanna be able to use that, put it in here. I have a lot of cool tool things I'm gonna do with my bot. Code's not too complicated. It's using quick charts. So I'll pull that up for you. I'm using the Polygon API. I'm using quick chart, right? Which lets you generate a PDF, and quick chart is built on top of, I think, charts.js, which is open source. So just stringing together a few different things, and of course the Discord API itself. Check it out, maybe I'll do a video on that, but I literally just work on this in between everything else. What we're gonna do for this actual video though, that we're recording right now, is look at our data from last week. We'll look at ES again, of course, And I wanna talk about on the 15-minute, what were the trades that I would have taken last week. So we're gonna go back to Thursday. Actually, we'll do a replay from here on the 15-minute chart. So we'll let this play out. And right here, you can see that we are above a level, right? And on the 15-minute chart, when we're trading on the 15-minute, guys, we're waiting patiently for clear setups or a clear pivot, right? We want some clear sign that we can go into a trade. I'm trading futures. Futures trades, right? When you get into a futures contract, or if you're trading like commodities, for example, as well. When you get in, there is no, unlike an option, right? It's kind of like buying a stock, right? You get in, you have this contract, and as the price moves, you go net positive or net negative on the price. So if I buy futures, ES futures, it's cash settled. So whatever price I get in at, 40.23, right? I'm not paying $4,023 or some multiple of that. I'm literally just buying one contract that at essentially a strike price of 40.23, okay? Which kind of how you would think about it if it was an option. So I have a contract at a price of 40.23, then as the difference in the current price, say it goes from 40.23 to 40.34 up here, that is a $11 difference from the contract that I bought and the current value. Every point in ES is worth $50, so 11 points is $550, right? So let's rehash that again, right? So I get in at 40.23, which is the price I have deposited at. Each point is worth $50, so when we get to 424, that's $50, 50, 50, 50, 50, until we get up to 40.34, that's 11 points, $550. If I just have one contract. If I have two contracts, it's doubled, three contracts, it's tripled, etc., right? The reason I think everybody should trade futures first is because you're not dealing with theta, right? The losses are different from options because you can face not infinite loss, but relative to the size of your portfolio and the money that you have as a beginner, it's infinite. So you have to be careful in that regard, whereas with options, you can't face, if you sell naked, infinite loss. But if you're buying options, right, you're fine if you're buying options, right? Your maximum loss is whatever your upfront capital is. So very different, there are pros and cons to both, but I think futures are great because it allows you to work on your entries and exits without the time component affecting you, right? Really all you have to do is sit on your hand. So I'll hit play again. Each one of these is 15 minutes. So let's pause right here. We just painted on the 15-minute chart. We came up, we touched this 40.35 level, top wick, we touched it again, top wick. All right, each of these is 15 minutes. So we're barcoding pretty solid here. Then we just open another candle lower. At this point, I'm looking lower. I am looking for a retest up here where I can get in and I want to go short, right? I want to go short and I want to go for 10 points, right? So that's 500 bucks. If I'm playing options, a lot of you are playing options on my server. If you're playing options, very, very different because now, regardless of whether it's a 0-dated contract, options contract, or if it is a 30-dated option contract, right? There's a time component. That contract, if the price doesn't move ever again, that contract is still losing value. You're losing value every minute that time goes by, which is very, very different than a futures contract, right? So say you buy a put here, well, it needs to go down within X amount of time, right? If you got a 0-dated contract, it needs to go down quickly. If you got a 30-dated contract, you have 30 days for this price to go down, right? I'll hit play again. Oh, look, we had a huge sell-off, huge cascading effect, and I'll pause here. So look at the amount of bars that came down here, guys. So we had two touches here. I didn't get my retest, right? So on the closer of this, I probably would have went short on this momentum in here, to be honest. To be really, really honest, I'd probably go short here. So I would not have a perfect entry at all. I might even go short on the break of this level where I'm really, really short, right? Because there's a ton of momentum, volume is spiked here. But look at the amount of time that's passed here. So if we look at the time from here, from the first touch to the most recent candle, that's 6 bars, that's 1.5 hours. That's a much longer time frame than a lot of you are trading in, right? Or people in any server that I'm in, by the way. Nobody is holding positions for 1.5 hours, which isn't even that long, right? But that's an amazing trade right here. This is, let's look at it, 43 points, right? If we do 43 times 50, let's see what that is, because I'm not good at math. That's $2,150 if you just held one contract, right? Obviously multiply that times 2 or whatever, right? So there's money to be made trading just one futures contract, guys, but you have to be patient. Now, we're at this point where we just touched this level. We just touched this level right here, What do you think we should do, guys? Pause the video, think about it, right? We had a huge drill with increased momentum coming up to a level that's also been tested before a few times. What do you think is most likely to happen with this momentum coming into a level? Well, let's hit play again and let's see what happens. We drill through, we drill through, we drill through, we drill through, we base, we'll let it play out, yada, 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 and it V recovers. So we'll pause there. So that was in fact a trick question. Some of you are probably like, maybe you're fooled, like, oh, it's gonna keep drilling through because of the momentum. Some of you are like, well, maybe it's gonna reverse. The correct answer, right, and really the trade to take here is to look for the reversal. So you would have gotten shaken out if you had a, well, you would have had a gnarly stop here. And I'm probably missing some level here. Like I definitely wanna have a pivot here, but we're not gonna add levels after the fact. The best trade, if you have better levels than I have here, or any levels at all, is to look for a bounce. It is to look for a bounce. And I want to highlight two things there, right? We're playing odds, we're playing poker when we're trading, right? We want to look for a rejection. We drilled through, so on this momentum, what I would do here with this much momentum is I would do nothing, right? And I would wait for confirmation of a reversal. So we saw here that there was a few points, it was like 3 points, so you could have got it like a 4-point bounce, which, you know, with this much speed in the market isn't really worth it. We popped through though immediately, really big full body candle here, and continued down to 39.74. So we came down to 39.74. From here, we started this recovery. So with this much momentum, think of the market kind of like a tennis ball, right? The harder you throw it into a wall, the harder it's gonna come back, right? So we had a huge amount of momentum coming down on the 15-minute time frame, right? Which is a higher level time frame. Then we bounced, right? And then here is where I would go long, right? Once we got back and I saw this flag forming in this area here, I would look for a long, right? So it's not a clean, you know, picture perfect setup, and most trades aren't, right? So you need a lot of experience kind of with futures, with ES to understand the behavior of this market, right? But you always want to play the odds, guys, right? You always want to play the odds. You can throw in other concepts like ICT concepts and things like that to come up with price targets and try to understand where the price is going next. But the most important thing that you can do is look at the broader picture, and we can see, okay, we're kind of forming a kind of like a broadening megaphone type of deal here, right? On the 15-minute time frame. And given how strongly this bounced, at this point, I'm looking for a retest highs or around this area, right? So we have pre-market highs here, relative high, and then we have the actual session high up here. So let's go ahead and let this play out. We're still on Thursday, by the way, so we're gonna let this play. I'm not cheating, by the way. I actually don't remember what this price action was because I just sat down and hit play. So if I was cheating, even though we're looking at old videos, I'd be doing much better right now, right? So we got a bounce there. Don't really like that. Came down, and now we're consolidating. So I'm looking for, when I see this wedging price action, well, we are in aftermarket hours. This isn't really tradable to me. I would just be sitting on my hands here. It goes. And what I really want to see when we have this tightening price action is extension to either side of our range, right? This looks like it's going to break down actually at this point, right? Because we're tightening into this level. Looks like we just cracked through it. It's coming down, and now I kind of remember this day, so that might be cheating. But we did break through a little bit there. I would expect much more than this. We'll see what happens, but I probably wouldn't be in a trade right here. I would not be in a trade right here, right? I would just be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And everyone's playing all of these small bars, right? And you see it's grinding down. Oh, there's a really big drop. That's cool at the open, right? That was a data bar right there. It's coming down, and here's where I would probably trade. I'd go long, right? So we have a reversal. We have some strong wicking here, a little bit of a reversal, top wick. So I probably would have went long here just for a few points. And we have some kind of disgusting price action on the 15, to be honest, right? I don't really have good levels here for this price action. I was on the road, so I didn't update my levels. Probably would have had some in here, right? Looking at some of the overmarket levels, or overnight levels, but I didn't in this case, right? So you see we came down, we drilled, we rejected, came up, and now we're actually in the market right now, pre-market Sunday at 9:15, and you can see that we're curling back up here, right? Closing, wow, we just closed this fair value gap here, right? So this fair value gap being, what is the shape that I want? It's so hard to think, and even though I use these shapes all the time, it's so hard to think what they are when you're doing a video, right? So we punched really deep into this gap, past the 50%. But What I want to say is in this 15-minute chart time frame, there's a few clear pivots, right? So there was this pivot touch here, there was this pivot here. Looking back, this was a pretty solid pivot, but you probably would have got shaken out here, right, as it tightened in this zone. Then we came down, we waterfalled, we grinded here. Right? A lot of people would look back here though, and this is what's really hard for new traders to understand, is they would look at this and be like, I should have went short. This is a really slow descent in pre-market, right? So unless you're in a long position, like I'm in swing puts right now. I'm 30 DTE swing puts, which are probably doing better until this bounce. I haven't even looked yet. But most people, most new traders will get shaken out, right? Especially if you're in options. If you're in options like zeros or 1 DTEs, you're worried about theta and you're looking at it and it's barely moving, right? And it's not that volatile. And so, you know, IV is not really helping you out either. You know, get this big push here, then finally you can sell, right? If you're in futures, right, you can just chill, you can go to sleep and not worry about the grind because you don't have theta, right? You're not losing any value. Same is true on the flip side though, where you just have to be patient, right? Patience is really key in trading. You know, these big trades, if you would have caught any one of these big trades here, you would get your P&L for the week. You know, most of you guys, most traders, they're not doing this, right? They're not doing this and they're not catching this. Most traders are trading this, right? They're trading this and they're trading this, right? They're trading this, you know, they're trading this, you know, looking for lottos and just bad plays. And my chart looks terrible now. That's fine because I'm gonna redo all my levels here shortly. But that's what I wanted you guys to think about, right? So start with futures, be patient, look for pivots on the longer time intervals. I've jumped to the 1 hour right here, which has even less noise, right? One clear pivot here, one clear pivot here. Let's just use this pivot as an example on the 1 hour. If I would have got in on the close here of this bar from 39.8750 up to, you know, let's just say we had a bad exit. We didn't catch the top, right? We got out at the close of this candle. 31 points, right? 31 points with one contract is $1,500, but it takes you 3 hours to get that money. It takes you 3 hours to get that money, which seems slow when there's people making $1,500 in 3 minutes, but those same people are losing $2,000 in 4 minutes, right? How fast you make or lose money or how much money you make doesn't matter at all if you can't keep it, guys. The only thing that matters is consistency. And I've made a lot of money just doing this and other stuff too. I can tell you from every type of experience, it does not matter how much money you make if you can't keep it. And speaking of, I kind of want to put on a trade here, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We are punching up here. I think we're going to actually return to the upside, so we'll see how this goes. I think we're going to do one of these, right, and probably come up to this level-ish area. But we'll finish my charting before I make too many predictions. I need to look at the higher time frames and the volume profile still. So that's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you watching. Join the Discord. Trades are in there. It's growing every day. I guess update on Apex. Still doing that. I have 8 accounts right now. I need to get 2 more because I blew 2 of them up. That sucks. I've had a lot of people ask me about trying to do it. It's a waste of time unless you feel like you can make, you know, money trading already. It's not going to be any better for you. So you need evidence one way or another. It could be paper trading. It could be evidence from your real account. It could be evidence, you know, one way or another. You just need a journal of trades that are green before you even waste your time doing funded trader challenges. Of them out there, it doesn't really matter which one you do at all, honestly. Unless you have some really good risk management, it's a moot point. I've done a ton of research and like it honestly doesn't really matter unless you have really good risk management. Nearly every challenge is just a test of risk management, one way or the other. So if you have really good risk management controls, what do I mean by that? I mean position sizes. So trade very small, right? Don't treat it like a gamble where you try to hit your profit target in one trade. It's not sustainable. It's not gonna work. You might get lucky, but luck runs out. In any case, my name is Forrest. I invest stuff. You should too. Thanks for popping in to this video, guys. I will see you in the Discord. I will see you in the next one. Peace.